Hello and good morning students, and welcome back again. Today we will proceed with the same, the lecture 7th again, recorded for BSc first year physics, paper first mechanics, although it is been recorded for unit first, but for the chapter second. Well, this is the numerical portion we are discussing right now. If you have a good approach in numericals and this is not according to your exam point of view, because numericals are been asked only a few, saying at only the 2 or 3 numericals. So if you think that you get through some theoretical knowledge only, then you can skip this portion of the video. Well, this is the numerical example video, and today we will proceed from where did we left for the last time. Last time we have discussed about the 5 main examples here. So let's proceed after then that. This chapter consists of 12 different numerical examples. In from them, we will talk about only the most important, and most important in a sense, important in your exam point of view. So let's proceed here. So starting with the example right now, we get to go through some conceptual knowledge, saying that while discussing about the Coriolis force, which has been acted upon any kind of a body, saying that if the body is at extreme rest or the body is in extreme motion, these are the two different conditions. The extrema, which in sense you can say the maxima of the states there. For both of these two states, what happens exactly? The thing happens is when a body is at rest, but the frame of reference at which it is keeps on rotating on its own axis and keeps on rotating or keeps on revolving around something. There are the two things that which we considered in the case of Earth. So now the example which is coming here will be the same as that of the same concept that we have discussed right now. The body will keeps on rotating on its own axis, and another body which is been placed on the surface of this body. So let me get to the example, and then we will get the things pretty much more easier by now. The example said that there is a stone of mass 5 kg is placed on a table. Yes, this stone is placed on a table. The table which is rotating on its own axis. Okay, it is placed a distance five centimeter apart. Let me check that if it is 5 centimeter or 5 meter. Sorry, this is 5 meters. Okay, 5 meters apart from the axis of rotation, from the axis of rotation of the rotating table. Okay, the table is rotating on its own axis, and this stone is being placed at a distance 5 meter apart. Let's say this is the table. We consider it as the spherical symmetric because the rotation will be the same thing here. Okay, let's say this is the table here, and for this table, this particular point is to be said as the rotational axis. It is somewhat towards you or maybe towards me. Let's say that if it is towards this direction, this is the axis of rotation, and the stone, let's say the stone is somewhat here, having a mass of 5 kg, is been placed at a distance 5 meter apart. Okay, so this distance is 5 meter apart, and this table is rotating. Let's say it is been rotating with angular velocity omega here. Yes, it has been rotating with the angular velocity omega with respect to Earth. So we just have to, what we are subjected to do, we will just explain the motion of this stone. Okay, we will explain the motion of this particular stone here, and let's find out that what does this motion will be up to. what does the results came out to be, and how does this the motion of this stone been affected by the rotation of the rotating table, or somewhat when the earth is been rotating and the whole things we taken into consideration step by step. Okay. So proceeding here, it has been said that explain the motion of stone about the observers. Motion of stone about the observers saying one of which is standing on the earth and the another one is sitting on the rotating table. Okay, so we gotta go discuss about the motion of the stone. You know, the stone is in somewhere. Stone is not a living thing. This is not like that. If this distance, which is the 5 meters, will keeps on changing. No, there is nothing like that. So what we are subjected to come up with? We are subjected to come up with, let's say, an observer is somewhat here. He has been seated on this table. Let's say he has been seated on this table. This is the one of the observer. Let's say he is the first observer here, and the second observer is somewhat here, who is standing on the ground and just looking at this stone. Okay. So let's say he is the second observer here. So we are subjected to come up with the result saying that the one of which the first one is on the standing on the earth and the second one is sitting on the table. So what should be the motion of this stone, this particular stone? What will appears to both of them? Let's find out. So we will just use the concept of Coriolis force here. Yes, we are subjected to use the concept of Coriolis force, although because when this table keeps on rotating and this body is here, and if the velocity of rotation, if the value of omega, which is the rotating velocity, if this value is pretty much higher and keeps on increasing, if the value keeps on increasing, so what will happen? The thing that will happen is this distance somewhat get deflected, this distance somewhat get changed. Either it has been about this is just because of the phenomena of centripetal force or the centrifugal force. Okay, when the centrifugal force is pretty much more than the centripetal force, then what will happen? This stone will go this side, and if the centripetal force is higher, then this distance keeps on decreasing. Okay, so these two things will happen here. Let's get to the example here and let's find out the solutions. So talking about the solution, let's find out first when the observer is sitting on the earth, standing on the earth. Okay, let's say first when observer is standing on the earth. This observer is standing on the earth. It has some different reference frame here. Okay, this observer has a different reference frame than the observer who is on the table. Okay, let's say the table is a very much large distance, but not so much. Consider an example yourself that you are somewhat in here and someone is been rotating somewhat there. So what will you actually feel? What kind of force do you feel here? The force that you will feel will be the force, either the centripetal force or the centrifugal force. Okay. For this observer, we got two types of forces here. Okay. What he will tell you? He will tell you here exists only the centripetal force or centrifugal force. Okay. According to him, two types of forces are acting here, the centripetal or the centrifugal. Okay. So the centripetal force acting on the stone, the centripetal force acting on the stone Well, he will feel two types of forces, the centrifugal, centripetal and the centrifugal. But we will take into consideration only the centripetal. Why not the centrifugal? Because the stone will be at this fixed position, and this fixed position is being maintained just by the centripetal force. There is no use of centrifugal force at all. So we do not consider the centrifugal force here. Okay, so let's find out the centripetal force acting on the stone. You know that is been given by m omega square r. Okay, this will be equals to m omega square r. You got the value of m here, somewhat here. Let's say this is a 5 kg. Okay, so this is 5. All the units must be in the same system, either in the SI, either in the MKS or in the CGS. Okay, so we got the units here in the SI. Okay, this is the kilogram and then the meter. Okay, m omega square. We don't know the value of omega at all. Okay, we do not know. This is omega square cross. We got the distance here. This is 5 here. Okay, so we got this distance. And what will be the value here? That will be equals to 25 omega square Newton. This is not W, this is omega here. Okay, so it becomes as 25 omega square Newton. Okay, so this is the force which we will end up with. Okay, this is the centripetal force acting. This centripetal force is produced due to friction between the stone and the table. There must be some friction. Yes, here must be some frictional forces. And just because of friction, what happens? Stone will have this. Stone will be at the same place. Stone will be at the same position, because place is not a correct word. I don't think so. Okay, stone will be at the same position. Okay, so this is it. Another second thing is sitting on the rotating table. Okay, let's talk about this person here. What do he feels here? Because if you can consider yourself that the person who is onto this table, according to him, everything will be usual. Everything will be usual in a sense. What? In a sense, saying that if you are within a room and the room keeps on rotating, so what will happen? Let's say the door is just in front of you. So if the room keeps on rotating, you will not even notice, because the thing that is in front of you will always remains in front of you. Either you go this side or you go this side. That doesn't matter here. Okay. So this is the same thing that is keeps on going here. You got it? Okay. Thank you very much. I hope that you got it. So for him, what kind of forces will act? For the observer, sitting on the table, two types of forces will exist. Two types of forces will exist. Okay, let's say using these two types of forces, we will end up having our resultant force. Okay, you know that the centripetal force will act in both of the cases, for this case and for that case. Okay, centripetal force will exist. Why? The centripetal force existing just because of the friction between the table and the stone here. Okay, so that's why the centripetal force exists here. So what should be the value of resultant force by now? The resultant force will be equals to centripetal force plus the centripetal force plus, okay, the centripetal force plus if this person, this observer is again rotating within the table, so according to him one more force will exist here. This is the axis of rotation actually. So the force that will exist here is the Coriolis force. Okay, another force is the Coriolis force. I hope that we are within the frame. Yes, we are within the frame. Okay, so now what should be the value here? You got the value of centripetal force is m omega square r. This is m omega square r. minus, again Coriolis force will be m omega square r, because this will keep on acting in the negative direction. So that's why it is negative here, and you can say that the resultant force will be 0 by now. This is when the stone will be at the rigid position. Okay. So what if just because of the rotating cable, the case that we considered early before discussing the example here is the case when what if the stone will go on slipping on some side. Let's consider the same case again here. If the stone starts slipping, this is slipping, not sleeping. Slipping and slipping, both of the things are different. If the stone starts slipping, if the stone keeps on slipping in some side, then the centripetal force will be equals to the frictional force will be equal to the frictional force acting between the table and the stone, acting between the table and the stone. Okay. So for using both of these things here, the mv or the m omega square r will be equals to mu mg by now. M omega square r will be equals to mu mg. What is the mu here? Mu is a frictional constant that has been said to be 1.5 here, because it is been given in the question. It has been said that the frictional coefficient between the stone and the table is 1.5. This is the frictional coefficient mu, which is said to be the 1.5 here. 1.5 mg. This is the centripetal force by now. Here mu is the frictional coefficient, so the value of frictional coefficient is equals to somewhere there. Let's say this is the frictional coefficient mu, that is equals to omega square r. 1 minute, excuse me. Sorry, omega square is equals to, this is something, omega square will be equals to 1.5 g upon r. This is the value of angular velocity and the relation between the angular velocity and the frictional coefficient. Okay. We are getting this thing here. So this is m omega square. So what we'll end up having? We will end up having this value here. Omega square is equals to 1.5 g upon r from this equation. Okay. This has been derived from this equation here. This is the value of omega square by now. So what will be the value of omega here? That will be equals to, omega will be equals to by now under the root 1.5 into 9.8 upon 5. So the value of omega, that is the angular velocity, will be equals to 1.71 radians per second. 1.71 radians per second. So this is the answer which you are subjected to end up with. I hope that this answer is pretty much same and will be easier for you in the same way that as we discussed here. Well, this is one of the most important examples that you can discuss here, and this is not only important just because of your exam point of view for the BSc first year examination, but also important for the point of view if you think that if you are going to beat some kind of competition courses or some kind of competition exams, so the science field again here. So these are the most important examples here. I hope that you got this example. Let me be aside, you can take a screenshot for your reference and then we will proceed further. So I hope that you're done with the screenshot. This is enough time for the screenshot here. So I think that I should clear this off and then we will proceed for a new example here. Okay, so let's proceed for the new example here. The example which has been said to be saying that another one example is pretty much easier for you. Okay. Okay, so one more example is here, which is again about the Coriolis force. We are subjected to determine the change in acceleration due to gravity of Earth at latitude 60 degree if the Earth stops rotating. Radius of Earth is 6370 kilometer. Okay, you know that Earth is keeps on rotating on its axis. So what happens when the Earth will stop rotating? You know that the radius of Earth is about 6400 kilometers, but it has been said that when the Earth stops rotating, so what will happen? So according to a few scientists, they said that the radius of Earth will be reduced up to 6375 kilometers. So let's find out if the thing is true and how much does the thing is true. Let's begin with the example. We are subjected to determine the change in acceleration due to gravity of Earth. Change in acceleration due to gravity of Earth at latitude 60 degree. If Earth stops rotating, radius of Earth is 6370 kilometers. If Earth stops rotating, its radius is 6370 kilometers. Okay, let's get to the solution here. The latitude is been said to be about 60 degree. The observed acceleration due to gravity at the latitude lambda is even said that there is a g lambda here, and the real acceleration of gravity is equals to g. Let's say at the latitude lambda, acceleration due to gravity be g lambda, and the actual acceleration due to gravity, you know, is g here. Okay, there is a gravitational constant which is the g here is the gravitational acceleration. Okay, this is the gravitational acceleration at the latitude lambda, and this is the gravitational acceleration g here. And also it has been discussed that g lambda will be equals to, this is discussed in the horizontal component of Coriolis force. Okay, if you remember that, and if you want, then go and check out the lecture 5th of our series, in which the things are being discussed briefly. Well, I think that you should go and watch the lecture 4th and 5th before going to these numerical lectures. Okay. So G lambda will be equals to G minus omega square G minus omega square R cos square lambda, R cos square lambda. So let's put the values one by one, and you know that it has been given to us that R is equals to 6370 kilometers, and lambda is again given as 60 degree. Let's write this thing into meters. 6.37 into 10 to the power 6 meters. Into 10 to the power 6 meters. Latitude is been given as 60 degree, and the value of omega, which is the angular velocity, that has been given that. The value of omega has been given. What is the value of omega by now? You remember that 7.29 into 10 to the power minus 5 radian per second square. Minus 5 radian per second square. So we got these three values, the value of R here, lambda, and the value of omega. And you also know that the value of G, what is the value of G is? The value of G is again equals to 9.8 meter per second, but we just going to compare it, the change in acceleration. So the actual acceleration is G, and what is the change? That is the G lambda. So you can say that what will be the value of G minus G lambda? The value of G minus G lambda, that will be equals to omega square R cos square lambda. You got the value of omega, let's say 7.29 into 10 to the power minus 5. Okay, we got this value, we got the value of R here, this is 6.37 into 10 to the power 6. Okay, and again the value of cos square lambda. You know that cos of 60 degree, what is the value of cos of 60 degree? The cos of 60 degree is equal to the sine of 30 degree, and that is equal to 1 over root 2. Okay, the value of cos of 60 degree is equal to 1 over root 2, and squaring them we will have the value saying as 1 by 2 here. Okay, that will be the 1 by 2. So what will be the final results? Let's get a count here. G minus G lambda will be equals to, what is the value will come up to be? The value will come up is 0.0084 meter per second square. 0.0084 meter per second square. So that will be the value here. So the acceleration due to gravity would increase by an amount, because this is the value, this value is positive here. So the value of change in acceleration will be increased by an amount .0084 meters per second square. I hope that you got this answer, and this is pretty much easy answer for you, but this has been discussed just because it is somewhat important according to your exam point of view and all of those things. You can take a screenshot and then we will proceed for a new example here. Okay, hope you are done with the screenshot here, and now we will discuss another one most important example, and that example is about the final topic that we have discussed for the previous video, saying for the lecture 6, the Foucault pendulum. Okay, so let's go for the example for Foucault pendulum here. Well, all of these three examples that have been taken into consideration are pretty much important for you, but I think that one of the examples that is somewhat complicated and looks somewhat important according to our exam point of view. So let's begin with that particular example here. So starting with the example, there has been said that we are subjected to determine time taken by vertical plane of Foucault pendulum. Yes, time taken by vertical plane of Foucault pendulum to complete the revolution when it is placed when it is placed first when it has been placed at equator, second at 45° north. Here the word north means latitude towards the north, so it is somewhat saying the northeast direction. Okay, this is somewhat in the northeast direction, and the third one is at the North Pole. So let's start here. Okay, in the solution, let's begin with the example at the equator, where the time period, if you remember the formula of time period Foucault pendulum at a latitude lambda is given by, let's say this is the time period t, and that will be equals to 24 over sine of lambda hours. Okay, this 24 is just because the earth completes its rotation in 24 hours, and the sine of lambda is where lambda is the change in angle. When the earth is rotating, then Foucault pendulum will give you some displacement, and that displacement has been said is lambda. Okay, so this all happens here. Okay, so this is t, this is sine of lambda here. Okay, so we got this value. So let's start at equator. Okay, so at equator you know that lambda will be equals to 0. So this means that sine of lambda will also 0. So what would be the value of time here? You know that the time here is either infinite or is undefined. Okay, the time will be undefined here. For the second case, which has been said at the 45° north, okay, lambda is equals to 45 and sine of 45 will be equals to 1 over root 2. Yes, this is 1 over root 2 here. So what would be the value of time t? That is equals to root 2 into 24. So 24 into root 2, and that will be set at 33.84 hours. 33.84 hours. It has been said that this will be equals to, okay, so at North Pole for the third case, at North Pole where lambda will be equals to 90° and sine of lambda will be equals to 1, so that will be equals to 24 hours. This is the exact time that has been taken there. Okay, so at the North Pole or at the South Pole for the same case, in both of these cases what actually happens is, at the North Pole the Foucault pendulum will take all the time as the same as that of the earth. So the Foucault pendulum will keep on rotating with the earth, so there will be no change here, so no angle latitude lambda there exists. But in the case at the equator, there will be undefined time because equator never changes, because this is the axis of rotation and the axis of rotation never rotates actually. Okay, so this is all what the concept of rotator equator is. Okay, also we have given one more example that has been saying that the value of theta that we are going to use here for the rotation of time taken to travel 150-degree rotation, time taken for the 180-degree rotation, and the time taken for the 270-degree rotation. I hope that you can get them easily because these are not so difficult here. But the one more example that is again the crucial example, I think that is saying that the Foucault pendulum is oscillating in a vertical plane of the north-south direction. Let's discuss it here. And I think that I must clear them off because we do not need them any longer. We got one more important example to discuss here. Okay, the example said that the latitude at certain place is 45-degree north. How much? The Foucault pendulum is oscillating in a vertical plane in the north-south direction. It has been said that the Foucault pendulum is rotating in north-south plane, with a latitude 45-degree north. Sorry, the latitude at this plane is 30-degree north, not the 45. This is the 30-degree north, is the latitude here. How much time will the pendulum take to rotate its vertical plane in northeast and southwest direction? So we get to talk about two directions here, for the northeast and the southwest direction. In the northeast or southwest direction will be somewhat like these directions. Okay, these are the axes, saying the x-axis and the y-axis. This is the origin O here, and this will be the northeast direction here, and this is somewhat saying the southwest direction here. So we are rotating only its vertical plane. Okay, you can consider that we are rotating only the vertical plane here. So let's rotate the vertical plane and let's find out that how much time will it takes to rotate for the northeast and the southwest rotation here. So let's beginning with the solution. In the solution, it's been said that we know that the Foucault pendulum is oscillating in northern hemisphere. The rotation of its vertical plane will be clockwise and rotates with an angular velocity which is the 15 sine of lambda that has been discussed for the northern hemisphere, for the every body that has been thrown vertically upward and then falling downward again due to the gravity. And the acceleration has been said about the 15 sine of lambda, and for the horizontal component that has been said is the 15 cos of lambda, if you remember that. And if you want, then please go and check out the previous lectures in which all of these things are discussed briefly. Okay, so we will just going to use all our results, and using those results what we have here, let's find out. So the rotation of vertical plane will be clockwise in the northern hemisphere. The rotation will be clockwise, and it rotates with an angular velocity 15 sine of lambda degrees per hour. And angular velocity 15 sine of lambda degrees per hour. Okay, so we have been given the value of omega here and the latitude lambda. So let's begin with the question. saying as the time taken in rotation of 45 degree. Now the time taken in the rotation of 45 degree. Okay, so in this rotation, the time taken that has been said, the time t, that will be equals to theta over omega, and you got the values of theta here. The theta has been said about the 45 degree. Yes, let's say this is the 45 degree here, and omega has been said about the 15 sine of lambda, that is discussed somewhat here. Okay, so this is the 15 sine of lambda. Okay, so we got two things there, and that will be equals to, what does this value, you know that the value of lambda is again what is equals to, that is equals to the 30 degree. Okay, you got the value of sine of 30, that is equals to 1 by 2. So this is 1 by 2, and this is again going to cancelling the 45 here. What will be the value, saying this is the 3 here, and this is 1 by 2. So the value will come up with 6 hours. Okay. So for the rotation of the northeast direction, 45 degree northeast direction, rotation in the vertical plane, it will take 6 hours for the a latitude of 30 degree. Okay. So now what will be the rotation in the southern hemisphere for the southwest direction? That will be said to be saying as 180 plus 45. Okay. You remember the thing here? Yes, these are the axes, saying this is the east, west, north, south, and we have been said that at this 45 degree latitude, at this latitude, this is 45, and this has been said for the northeast direction, and we are subjected to come up with the southwest direction here. Okay, this is the southwest. So taken into consideration in the same way, this is the 45 degree, but again this thing that is equals to the 180 degree. So what will be the total angle here? Let's say this is the total angle, this is the total angle becomes. So what will be the value of total angle? That has been said about 225. So this value will be equals to 225 degrees. Okay, this is the somewhat origin here. Okay, so we will use for the southwest direction time taken in rotation of 45 degree. Now the time taken in rotation of 225 degree. Now the time taken in the rotation of 225 degrees. There has been said that t will be equals to theta over omega, and what is the value of theta here? Theta is equals to 225 degree. Yes, theta is equals to 225 degree by now, and value of omega same here. This is the 15 sine of lambda, so it will be equals to the 15 sine of 30 degree.